Real Madrid 3, Dortmund 2. What a weird game of football. But honestly, it didn't even feel like a game of football. It felt like two matches, two legs, just played in the same evening. Like the first 90 minutes before injury time, it was a completely different game to the last 8 minutes. So let me start off by saying the first leg, the first 90 minutes, were all in Real Madrid's control. Real Madrid dictated play. And when they didn't have the ball at their feet, they were happy to sit back and nullify every single attack that Dortmund had. When they had the ball, they created chances and they put them away. Gonzalo Garcia is just on fire right now. We need to have serious conversations about this guy and his place in the future Real Madrid squad. Does he start? Does he come off the bench? Does he play in the front two with Mbappe? Does Mbappe move to the wing? Something has to happen, and Xabi Alonso has to make a decision, because this kid, you can't just bench him after the tournament he's having. You can't just bench him. And Dortmund, I mean, what on earth were they doing? Every attack they had, every time I thought, you know what, Dortmund could create something out of this. They would either just let Real Madrid come back into position and then play it back to their defence, or they would just cross it and nothing would come from it. Nothing. They created no danger in the first 90 minutes. No danger. Real Madrid, again, were in control. Real Madrid, this was the first game, especially the first half. Second half, I think they dropped off a little bit. But in that first half, it's the first time I've seen Real Madrid, since Xabi Alonso came in, play as a unit and fluidly. And, you know, because before, obviously, they were winning games and they beat Juventus. But that was more to me because the team is so good in terms of individual players that sometimes the individual quality will just drag you across the line. This match was, for me, not necessarily about individuals. In fact, I thought Vinicius had a pretty poor game. I thought Bellingham was quite quiet for the most part, although he was good defensively and he was decent. But I thought for the most part, the stars were quite quiet. It was the team as a whole, however, who were playing together, and the system was really flowing perfectly, because Fran Garcia, for me, had such a good game, who obviously can sometimes get outshone in a team full of big names. Fran Garcia sometimes gets underrated, or he doesn't have as big of a performance. But in this team, his role is immense. He's just that bombarding wingback, who can go forward and create danger attacking wise, but he's also a hassle defensively, and he gets his goal. And it's the two fullbacks combined, that Xabi Alonso ball in full effect. The attacking wing-backs, we saw them at Bayer Leverkusen with Grimaldo on the left and Frimpong on the right. You've got Trent on the right now, and you've got Fran Garcia on the left. And Trent plays him a beautiful ball, and Fran Garcia finishes. And it's just what Xabi Alonso ball is all about. But, again, that was the last goal Real Madrid scored in the first leg. Then the second leg comes along. And I was assuming the second leg was only 8 minutes long, so I thought it was just going to be more of the same. Real Madrid controlling and just seeing the game out. Well, Beier comes across and just fizzes one into the bottom corner past Courtois out of nowhere. When in the previous leg, the previous match, Dortmund hadn't had a chance half as good or half as close to going in. That came out of nowhere. I was like, okay, it's still too little too late. Then Mbappe comes across and seals the deal with a beautiful bicycle kick, saying, that's a statement, by the way, to Gonzalo Garcia and to Xabi Alonso, saying, look, Gonzalo Garcia might be balling out, but I'm still Mbappe, guys. This is my team. This is my squad. This is my position. I'm the star man here. I'm the guy you wanted for 5 years. Okay, remember that. And it's just, what a goal, bro. It's Mbappe. It's quality. But then the second leg gets even crazier. I wish the second leg was as long as the first leg, because the first 90 minutes was boring, bro. It was boring. Real Madrid controlled. Dortmund didn't pop a fight. The second leg was far from that. Out of nowhere, Dortmund go up again. And Guirassy, who's barely done nothing all game, finds himself one-on-one. Huijsen gets a touch on the ball, but he still loses Guirassy. So he has to pull him back. And guess what? It's a red card and a penalty. Dortmund have a penalty, but they're 2 goals down. They're still mounting the climb. There's a lot of disputing with the referee. Was it pen? Was it not a pen? Drama, all this stuff. In my opinion, it was a bit weak. It wasn't really it was cynical. It wasn't really a malicious foul. You know what I mean? It wasn't evil. He wasn't trying to hurt him. He was just obviously trying to stop him from scoring. But when the striker's in the box and the ball's in front of him and there's no other defenders in front of him and you're dragging him back, you're the last man, it's a red card, I think. I think it's a red card. And of course it's a penalty. And Guirassy obviously slams the penalty in. I'm still there thinking, that's it, okay? I mean, they're fine. They maybe, garnered a bit of dignity back with this second leg performance. But they're still not going to get one more to send it to extra time. Well, I mean, obviously Real Madrid have the centre. They boot it all the way back up the Dortmund side. Dortmund just start darting up the pitch with intensity that they didn't have for the whole first leg. Dortmund, where was that? Play it out wide to Yan Couto. I think Yan Couto plays it back to someone or he himself crosses it into the box. It bobbles about a bit. Sabitzer volleys it and I'm like, oh my God, it's gone in. But no, Courtois had other ideas. He saves it with his hand. It bobbles under his hand. And I'm pretty sure half the people in the stadium thought it bounced in off Courtois' hand. But no, Courtois had enough strength on it to keep it out of harm's way. And those are the saves and those are the moments that only a world-class keeper can get you. And that's why a world-class keeper wins you trophies and wins you titles and wins you games. Because keepers pop up in those moments. Because whilst the strikers are scoring the goals, keepers are stopping them from coming at you. And Courtois did just that. Again, Dortmund with probably their second best chance of the game, not including the penalty, came again in the second leg. And it was Sabitzer. And look, I'm not even going to sit here and say he should have done better. It was a good strike. Courtois just gets down to it perfectly and makes a world-class stop. And then they celebrate it like he's just scored a goal, because he has pretty much. And he sent them through because then the whistle blows for full time. And look, I'm not going to sit here and rewrite history of what we just watched. That was a pretty boring game up until that point. And I would have loved for there to be a bit more fight from Dortmund, because although they did pull it back in the end to a one-goal difference, there was never a point in the game where the teams were 1-1 or 2-2. I would have liked to see a bit more of that from Dortmund earlier. But at least, it came at some point and it made the game a little bit more entertaining. It was just crazy, bro. The scenes at the end of the game were mental. Like, I was honestly falling asleep and then all of a sudden, I'm on the edge of my seat. So, that's just football for you. Things can change so quickly. But we need to talk about Gonzalo Garcia. I just touched on it earlier, but this guy is special. This guy's a poacher. He's a natural finisher in a world where strikers don't even score goals anymore, guys. In a world where strikers who all they dream about, all they think about, all they taste, smell, feel is scoring goals. In a world where that is lacking, Gonzalo Garcia fills in a big void, because he is just that, bro. He is a striker who does what strikers are supposed to do and were put on the planet to do. Score goals. Every goal he scored this tournament, most of the goals he scored this tournament, I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but the one he scored against Juventus, the one today, he's in the right place at the right time, and it's just a brilliant finish, either with his head or with his foot. He's just a striker, bro. He's a striker. He's not trying to, come back deep and then hold up play and then play it to the wingers and then cover, and then he's just putting himself into the danger area and he's putting away crosses and chances. And that is all you can ask for from a striker. Yes, if you compare him to Mbappe, look, yes, he's not as all-round as Mbappe. His game's not as complete. He's not as fast as Mbappe. He's not even as strong as Mbappe. You know what? He's not even as good as a finisher as Mbappe. But, bro, one thing that you can't put a price on, you can't put any sort of value on, it's just a striker who knows how to be at the right place at the right time. Because if you know how to do that, it doesn't matter if you're a good finisher or not. Because even if, the worst defender on the planet was in the right place at the right time, they're going to put away chances, because most of the time they're just tap-ins. And that's why tap-ins in football are the most important goals. Because the goals that are supposed to go in, like tap-ins, are the ones that you should be putting away. The ones that you score from 40 yards away, they should just be, the cherry on top. They shouldn't be what's winning you the games. Obviously, when they do win you the games, it's gas, but you feel safer when you're not having to resort to shooting 40 yards away. So to me, Gonzalo Garcia is a striker who you feel safe as a fan knowing that guy is leading your front line. And I would love to have a striker like him, guys. I would. And I really hope the Lap can be that. Because to me, as a Chelsea fan, I've been watching these strikers who can't just do the basics, but can be flashy, can dribble, can pass, can do this and that skills. No, guys. I want a Garcia. I want a Gonzalo Garcia. And whether he starts Real Madrid or not is a different question. Look, I don't even know the answer to that question. It's such a tough question because Xabi Alonso has a real predicament here. Because Gonzalo Garcia will be looking at his performances and he'll be seeing the hype in the media and he'll be hearing, his name being said with the pundits and the experts and the social media and the fans. And he'll be like, yo, I'm rated. I can't be on the bench here. So it might be interesting to see him go on loan. I'm not saying he's going to want to leave or push for a sale. He's obviously a Real Madrid academy guy. It's his boyhood club. He's going to want to stay there. But it will be interesting to see maybe a loan to another La Liga club, potentially like what Atletico Madrid did with Samuel Omorodion, sending him to an Alaves. Maybe Real Madrid could send Garcia to like a Valencia. Hey, I wouldn't mind that. I would definitely take that right now. I don't think we got that source right now, but I would love it. But I think that's probably what's best for Garcia, bro, because I don't think, he's not at the level of a Real Madrid Castilla. He shouldn't be playing for the Real Madrid B team at the stage he is now. You should be trying to elevate him now to a proper level. And the guy got 25 goals in whatever division Real Madrid B were last season. He's a goal scorer. And I genuinely think you put him in a Liga side where he's getting good service, where he's getting good minutes, this guy will get you 15 goals. I don't see why not. And look, they won't be the goals that Mbappe gets you, where he gets the bicycle kick in the 93rd minute. It won't be like the goals Bellingham gets you, where he just slaps it from 40 yards away and gets a top corner. It won't be like Vinicius, where he just runs through the whole team and just scores. But bro, it'll be what strikers meant to do. Like I said, just be at the right place at the right time and tap it in. So yeah, that's a player who I'm really excited to see how he develops this next season and where he goes and what he does, because he's got so much potential. And yeah, I'd hate to see him rot on the bench. Like if he stays at Real Madrid, I'd love to see that, but I'd love to see him play. And then again, the other Garcia, Fran Garcia, he's been getting a lot of critics. He's, obviously had some poor performances at Real Madrid last season. It didn't go fully to plan. But under Xabi Alonso, I do really think that this guy's going to rejuvenate himself as that flying left wing back who is going to have a lot of contribution going forward, much like Trent. And I think those are the perfect Xabi Alonso wing backs that he could have asked for. But yeah, with that being said, guys, Real Madrid are through to the semi-finals where they play PSG. I predicted this matchup. I'm not going to lie, it wasn't the hardest prediction. They're two of the favourites. But only one can make it to the final. That's what's so exciting. Tomorrow, I'll be making my semi-final predictions and my preview and all this stuff. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, PSG Real Madrid is going to be a great game. No Huijsen for Real Madrid. But again, no Pacho or Hernandez for PSG. So both teams are going to be without some of their defensive powerhouses. So we'll have to see how they deal with that. But with that being said, I'll see you all later in a bit.